Right, as you guys might have heard, Khan, the useless tosspot London mayor, lost a court battle the other day over his lunatic Green Road scheme that I covered a few months back because absolutely no one used it. I think it was something like 6 cyclists per hour used it while traffic backed up for miles, taking the motorists who pay for the roads to be maintained hours to get home. Not only that, but he blocked off local residential streets, creating a maze of stupidity for people to navigate just to get about. Of course, this was all done in the name of climate change and used the current situation as a way to push it through with minimal resistance and obviously as quick as he could. Luckily, though, people took him to court and actually won, which has now spurred on another 5 areas in London to do exactly the same, meaning another 5 cases he should lose, solidifying the decision that he cannot do this. Now, obviously, you would think he would deal with the violent crime in London before any of this nonsense, but no, he is more focused on destroying the country with lunatic policies and fighting them in court, at our expense, of course. At the end of the day, it is us paying for his court cases here because he refuses to listen to the locals who do not want this shit. But then again, when does Sadiq Khan ever care about what the people want? He only cares about what he wants, and obviously he's paymasters. But I guess him pissing off people in London is a good thing in a way. It means less people are likely to vote for him, and there is more people calling him the snivelling shitweasel we all know him to be. Hopefully that will result in less votes for him, but we never know what's going to go on with the next mayoral elections. It could well be voting by mail or an electronic voting system, which let me tell you, I don't trust as far as I could throw the snivelling shitweasel Sadiq Khan. But the Mail picked up on this, so let's check out what they have to say quickly. It headlines London goes to war with Sadiq Khan's illegal road scheme. Residents in 5 boroughs take fight to High Court over cycle friendly, low traffic neighbourhoods set up in lockdown. Because, yeah, he never would have been able to do this shit show if it wasn't for the lockdown and everyone stuck at home. The councils would have had people on their arse making sure they put a stop to it before it ever got there, which is 100% why he did it when he did. Apparently, though, it's Hackney, Ealing, Hounslow, Lambeth, and Croydon councils that have launched the legal challenge, so my own council is in there. Residents in 5 London boroughs have taken the fight against cycle-friendly, low-traffic neighbourhoods to the High Court. Sadiq Khan's controversial road scheme was this week ruled illegal by a High Court judge who said it was found to be seriously flawed, much like the snivelling shitweasel Sadiq Khan himself, and actually every single politician the world over. Dozens of roads were closed and others narrowed to create cycle lanes in the height of lockdown last year in an effort to encourage walking and cycling, despite the fact that no cunt was allowed out of their house and still isn't now. What, we're only a month and a bit until we're at the point where we've had a year of this shit show. Hopefully soon people start waking the fuck up. It goes on, but residents in Hackney, Ealing, Hounslow, Lambeth and Croydon have now launched a legal challenge to stop the road closures. The hearing on February 12th could be decisive in the battle between councils and motorists across the capital. Because yeah, they'll want motorists to continue paying road tax and all this bollocks, but they'll do this shit to them here. I guess that is politicians and councils for you. Even local politicians are just as scummy as the ones we find in Westminster, if you ask me. One of the challenges by residents in Hackney said the road changes were unlawful because of the lack of consultation, failure to consider the impact on traffic, air pollution, and the disproportionate effect on people from black and ethnic minority groups. Which I have to say is just a load of bollocks. It's got fuck all to do with your ethnicity. But then again, why am I not surprised with the race-baiting fuckpigs that we get today? I expect it's some lefty liberal tosspot who has put this forward here. Or at least had some part in it, that is for sure. It says at least 200 separate changes have been made to UK roads to create low-traffic neighbourhoods in the last 9 months. They were touted as ways to help Britons to avoid public transport during the coronavirus pandemic. Craig McKinley, chairman of the all-party parliamentary group for Fair Fuel, told World at 1 of BBC Radio 4 the schemes were in ridiculous places. I think the judgment in London has highlighted very well some of the things that are going wrong, he added. Yeah, Sadiq Khan being the mayor of London is certainly one of them. On Wednesday, Justice Lang ruled London streets-based scheme was seriously flawed and took advantage of the pandemic to push through radical and permanent changes to London's roads. Well, that's what's been happening with the pandemic in general. The government, media, and every other shitweasel in this country is doing exactly the same thing, using the pandemic to push through radical nonsense that the country does not want. Boris Johnson said he's going to build back better, despite the fact that no one in this country voted for him to do that. They voted for him to be the Conservative leader of this country and take us out of the EU. Yes, he's taken us out of the EU with some shoddy deal. But at the end of the day, he has certainly not been a Conservative leader. He has conserved fuck all and just been a Conservative in name only, if you ask me, and actually, if you ask most people that you speak to. Many of his most ardent supporters now consider him to be a low-life snivelling shitweasel, and I do not blame them. Obviously, though, he's probably still not as bad as Sadiq Khan here. Hopefully, Sadiq Khan will lose this coming court cases by these 5 councils, and that will put him right in the shit. But then again, even if he doesn't, it'll just make more people in those areas fucking hate him, and there goes some of his votes. Perhaps he will have to rely on some 200-year-old dead ones. They have been known to vote recently, let's be honest.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.